Alright, this is Talks with G. I am G. This is another video from G. I had one new Twitter mention from someone today, and he said, hey, do you like chemistry? I was like, yeah, it's cool. Everything is made out of, well, I didn't quite say this exactly. I said, yeah, I do like chemistry. And, everything's made out of atoms. And he said, I did, and then I told him that, or her, I have no idea, I couldn't tell from the username, that I didn't major in it, and I don't have a huge standing, I just have a basic knowledge. And then they said, well, that's good. You can start with that. You can do things with that. So that was good. That is, I believe, the first real mention or any kind of discussion I've had on Twitter, which was, hopefully I have a lot more than that. I would love to. I don't know if you watched any of the videos. He just said, hey, do you like chemistry? I was like, yeah, chemistry's cool. And anyways, so send me stuff, tweet me stuff, do things. It would be great. I would love to have that. But so far I've only really had two decent Twitter conversations, and the other guy was just like, cool! And I was like, yeah, okay, it's cool. What's cool? I can't go over that. But let's move on. I digress. I know exactly what I want to talk about. I wrote it down. That's how much I knew I wanted to talk about it. There's two main things. Of course, this goes back to the universe. I'll probably be talking about space and stuff quite a bit because it's amazing and I like it. It's cool. But I would love to talk about anything. Just ask me anything. It doesn't even have to be science or math. It doesn't even have to be STEM related. I'm not even much of a STEM person. My first degree was, I am now, but my first degree was in econ. It was an applied math degree in economics. I'm somewhat of a capitalist. I've been to New York City. I've been to Wall Street. Ask me anything. Ask me stuff about finance. Ask me things about anything. That'd be cool. I'd like to talk about stuff. But anyways, I was riding a bicycle the other day, or several days ago, and I was thinking, for me to go any significant distance, I have to pedal a lot. Like, I have to have a lot of revolutions. That's really what the main word is. Rotations. RPMs, rotations per minute. That's what I was thinking. And a complete revolution around a circle, 360 degrees, or 2 pi, whatever. And I was like, wow, for anything of any real significance on this bicycle, I have to pedal a lot. And then I started thinking, well, if I have to pedal a lot for this bicycle, what about a car? Well, it has to turn the engine a lot. And every time you look at it, it's like at least 2,000 or 3,000 rotations every single minute. That means the drive shaft has to spin almost as fast, if not as faster. So does the wheels. Anything that moves, I was thinking about everything. Trains, cars, planes, just consider how many rotations a jet engine makes inside the engine. And then I was thinking more about all the things that you see around in civilization. Specifically, engines are a good one, but then also I was thinking about how many cycles a computer does. Oh my God, that's what the gigahertz stands for. It's such a huge number, every second. And then hertz. How many times does the screen have to flicker? How many times does a video have to run before it turns from a still? Or how many images do you have to show in a single second before it looks like a movie? 30 or 60. And so that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about how essentially everything, so many things, have to have so many revolutions, so many cycles of really small incremental steps before anything of any significance, any large job or set of work is done. And then so then I asked, what about the universe? If you take a year, right, let's just assume that the Earth has been the same distance from the Sun, roughly, and has been rotating around the Sun, roughly, at the same speed for since the beginning, which is probably not true, and I don't know, and no one knows. We have theories for that. But roughly the same, 365 days a year. That means that Earth has to spin 365 times before just one cycle is completed. And then I was thinking about, well, how many times does the Earth spin in a lifetime around the sun? I mean, excuse me, I should clarify more. How many times does the Earth rotate around the sun in a single life? Well, if the average life expectancy is, what, 72 to 80 years, that means the Earth will only go around the sun 70 to 80 times in your life, in your entire life. Well, if all these other things in just our very small, simple world, almost every single example requires, hundreds, if not thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, or millions of rotations before any kind of significance or change in an environment or change in a system is really observed, then why would it make sense that the universe, let alone the solar system, would be any small amount of time? Say several thousand years, several 100,000 years. Heck, even 1,000,000 years isn't even a lot. If you really think about it, 1,000,000 years, that's not a lot of time. So if everything we see around us and everything around our world, oh, here's my phone. There's a TXT message. This is more interesting. If everything in the world that we see, we quantify it in thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions or hundreds of millions or billions of rotations or cycles, why would the universe be any different? Why would the universe become and be? Why would this exist in a short amount of time? Using Occam's razor or any other even simple form of logic would mean it isn't. It means it doesn't. It means the universe, this world, our solar system, the planets, the sun, can only be possible all along long lengths of time. It has to take a long period of time for any set of significant cycles to do any kind of quote-unquote work. For there to be plants and animals and complex organisms and complex chemicals in the planet and in the universe and in existence, there would have to be a significant amount of time for the basic elements in the periodic table to move around, hit and collide, move into solution, then dissolution, then move into more complex things again, more complex structures. It would take a long time, not millions. It would have to be billions of years for any of this to happen. You cannot have a periodic table that's, I know there's elements into the hundreds and let's just call it around 100. I don't know exactly, so the person who was tweeting, so I actually don't know that much about chemistry. Well, I guess I don't know a whole lot. I know basic. There's a little over 100 elements. How on earth do those individual atoms become this in a very small amount of time? Well, there's one simple answer. It doesn't. It takes a long amount of time. Which then made me think about something else, which is like, if this, and I have it written down, which is going to be a little bit different, then that means, well, if 80 years, if the Earth rotating around the sun 80 times is not a lot, that means we live really, really short, incredibly short lives compared to anything else in the universe, or even within let's just say the universe. So then if that's the case, then we need to look at if we really want to have an understanding of how things evolve from a galactic perspective, from a cosmic perspective, we really, really need to look at things with a much bigger time horizon, a much bigger aperture of time, to really get an understanding of everything that happens. So then let's assume that, let's not look at the universe as an actual year. Let's say, what if the year is just, let's say 1 year is 1/30th of a second, right? So that means 30 years is just 1 second of a video. Well, let's not actually use specifically that ratio. But let's just work with the idea that we're observing the solar system in a billion-year timeline within a 5 to 10 minute video. I don't know exactly how many years per second that is. You could easily calculate that because you have a computer in front of you. But if we look at the entire world in 5 to 10 minutes, with, let's just say, the Earth of a billion years, we would see such an incredible amount of change. We would really actually see tectonic plates moving. We would really see entire deserts become forests, and then deserts, and then forests again. We would see quickly fluctuations in ice ages and times of very warm temperatures, fast and forth, up and forth. We would see entire species of animals evolve, become, die, become extinct, or become something else, up and down. We would be in an ocean of rhythmic changes. And that would be incredible to observe. And if you were to look at things that way, if you think about the universe in that way, in several billion years, fit within 10 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour-long video, then things become a lot more interesting. Then things become a lot clearer. We would see pulsars and flashes of light. We would see galaxies becoming, and galaxies being thrown off and colliding. We would see entire stars going from dust to collecting, becoming a star, and eventually exploding and just ruining the entire solar system within only a few seconds or a few minutes of video. It would be dynamic. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. That's what I wanted to get to. That's what led me to that thought. Is that I actually personally think that the universe is quite dynamic and quite alive and is constantly changing. Constantly changing. Things are constantly being created, destroyed, recreated. It's amazing, it's awesome, it's inspiring. Except our own lives, our own wiring of how we evolved, of how we perceive time, is just too small of a sliver. It's just a piece of paper in thickness to that of all the books ever created, stacked on top of each other. And if you start looking at the universe as a collection of books and volumes, and not just that single piece of paper which is our own life, then you really get to see, in your own, at least mind's eye, something truly incredible. And that the universe is alive. The universe is constantly changing and evolving and creating and destroying itself, becoming more complex over time. And then the complexity then and of itself becomes eroded. They can be ruined, completely ruined. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. That's what I was thinking about. That's what led for my initial thought of the spin of a single revolution of a bicycle. It was not that the thought of the single revolution of the bicycle that I really spent much time about, but what did that mean when I changed my perspective of time? What if it's not one cycle? What if it's 50? What if it's 100? What if it's 1,000? Where does that take you? What do you see change? Do you see the bike go past a snail? Or do you see your bike go some distance across town? Is that your commute? Or is that a long distance ride out into the country? And that's really all I had to talk about. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that came to mind. But no, I think I said everything I needed to say. So I've been watching some people in YouTube videos of people who have channels, and like they always do, subscribe, click, like, share, comment, all that stuff in my Twitter, or whatever they do, and do those things if you want to. Like, you know, I would love to talk and converse with more people and have some other things to talk about except from just the universe, you know, because I really can talk about some other things, not everything. You know, I can talk about several things, though, a few things at least. So send me questions, send me things, subscribe, link, comment, like, all that stuff. Visit my website. I really do recommend my website too at talkswithg.com because that has everything. That has everything. It has all the videos. I wrote a simple program in PHP that grabs all the data from my YouTube channel, and it shows all the videos I've ever created is right on the front page. But then it also, if you need to go watch to the YouTube, click on YouTube. But at the same time, I have all my social Twitter feeds there. I have a submit button to send me things that you want to see on a video like this. I have a discuss comment mini forum thing. It's just a one big comment chain, but if you send me a comment or a question, I can answer it live, and you won't have to wait till a video. You don't even have to wait for an email. You can totally send me an email at talkswithg@gmail.com. Now I'm starting to get how these people market their stuff. But go to my website, talkswithg.com. I really recommend it. All the links are going to be down there. I think this is kind of cool. Yeah, it's going to be down there in the information. And send me stuff. Let's talk. Let's do things. Let's think about other things. Because, you know, one-horse ponies, those aren't really, that's not a fun show. That doesn't make things interesting. You know, I can only talk for so long without really needing, you know, feedback, information, input. Have you guys ever seen Short Circuit? I love that movie. Number 5 is alive. Well, okay, I've talked I don't want to say too long. I've talked enough. I'll see you guys later.